the hotel and there's like a tutorial in the hotel and he's making pasta. Like he's everywhere out there. But the thing kind of take him for granted, but we're living in a time, I don't think there's going to be ever a player like him again. I mean,
ヤンキースのレジェンドで先日殿堂入りも果たした CC サバシアが番組に出演し、野球界の盛り上がりを語りました。また大谷とジャッジを称賛し、特に大谷については改めてその素晴らしさを力説しています。略しました。
It feels like baseball overall has a different energy about it right now, for a multitude of reasons. But what would you say? You know, I referenced a few things in a conversation I had about changes that were made to the league, about some of the young stars. But what do you think has started to turn the tide a bit? And do you also feel that energy around the sport now more so than it has been in a while?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm with you on that. Just, I think the pitch clock is what's done it. And, getting games back under 3 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes. I feel like I've seen a lot of families back at the ballpark during the middle of the week. Early in the season when school was still in, the ballpark was packed with kids. Normally when that's, a time when we really struggle until kids get out of school. But having to going to a ball game at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, knowing that the game's going to be over by 9:30 and, the kids can be in bed to go to school, I think it's made a huge difference. I think it's made a huge difference for TV markets when, I even me as a baseball fanatic and a baseball lifer, I would have to watch 2 or 3 games at a time. So now with the pitch clock, it's so much action that it's kind of made for TV now. And I feel like, so many young stars that we have in the game. I mean, these guys are bigger, faster, stronger than we've ever been. You got Ellie De La Cruz and, Paul Skeens and all these different superstars in the game. I mean, obviously Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, but, all the guys under that, all the superstars. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And I think, I think the biggest thing, and I think the biggest resurgence of why fans and why we have this energy around the game is because of the changes that we made. And I feel like baseball is always so scared to make changes, right? But in the NBA and the NFL, they make changes all the time, whether it's to quarterback play or for defenses, legal defenses in the NBA and all these different things. I feel like, I'm glad that we were able to make that change and looking forward to the ABS for the challenge system next year. Just something that adds to the game experience for the fans, and I think it'll help out, player and league wide, getting that kind of that big miss right that Rob has been talking about.
And you mentioned obviously like, any growth for a league comes with star power. And you mentioned the crop of young stars, and you mentioned Judge and Ohtani. Can you put in context as like a baseball historian, where Ohtani and Judge potentially sit in baseball historically?
Yeah, so no, I think when you look at Aaron Judge, you look at Shohei Ohtani. I think when you look at Aaron Judge, I mean, you're looking at the Mickey Mantle or Babe Ruth or whoever you want to, throw that name out of this time. I mean, his OPS is 200 points higher, than the next guy, and he's out hitting the league by 70 points. The National League batting title winner, hit 304, and Judge is hitting 338 with 50. You know what I mean? And he missed a couple of weeks. So I just think the way he's out hitting everybody in a time when average and but putting the ball in play is not as highly regarded, and people don't really care to do it as much. I think you got to look at what he's doing and with the way he's hitting, the way he controls the strike zone, and the way he can hit for power. I mean, he's out of this world. I mean, he's got to be one of the best, regular season baseball players of all time. And then for me, people got on me when I talked about Ohtani, and I saw him play one inning of one baseball game when I was still playing. And I looked at Luis Severino. I said, this is the best baseball player I've ever seen in my life. He's the biggest. He's the fastest. He's the strongest. He hits the ball the furthest. He throws the ball the hardest. Like, he is really, incredible. I mean, to have a season where you go 50-50 is really insane. And to be able to go out and throw 7 innings of no-hit or shutout baseball in the postseason and, the things that he's done, I mean, there's nobody that – I mean, they like to compare him to Babe Ruth, but there's really nobody that you can compare Ohtani to.
That's crazy. And you guys did the games in Japan. Like, what is his level of stardom in Japan right now?
I mean, we were at Shibuya Crossing. We went there one night, and there was 18 different things that he was on it's basically Times Squares of Japan, of Tokyo. I mean, he's on bus stops. He's on, every billboard that you can name. And then we get back to the hotel, and there's like a tutorial on the hotel, and he's making pasta. Like, he's everywhere out there. But the thing about him is he shows up. He's on cue. Like, he had a home run in Tokyo Dome when we go to Japan. The first, at bat of the postseason, he goes deep. Like, he really shows up in these big moments, and it's just incredible to be able to watch him do his thing, man. I think we kind of take him for granted, but we're living in a time. I don't think there's going to be ever a player like him again. I mean, there may be guys that'll hit and pitch, but there won't be anybody that could do it at this level.
That's crazy. So does that mean you have the Dodgers winning it all again this year?
Yeah, I did. I mean, and I always thought this. I mean, I thought if they got healthy, with all the talent that they acquired in the offseason, having Glass now healthy. I mean, obviously Tanner Scott goes down for him, but Kirby Yates, all the guys that they had talent, all that they acquired, Blake Snell, all the arms with the lineup that they have. I just thought if they were healthy, they're going to be hard to beat. And I've seen them 3 times already this postseason, and I don't think there's anybody out there that can beat them.
And who do you think they end up playing in the series from the AL?
I think they end up playing Toronto. Toronto's a really good team. They hit for power, they hit for average. They do not strike out. They put the ball in play. Something that we saw in that Yankee series, and something that, quite frankly, the Yankees need to kind of adopt and try to get. I mean, really everybody across the league. We got the average of the league is way down, and the strikeouts are way up. And you look at a team like the Toronto Blue Jays that just put the ball in play and put so much pressure on you defensively. And I think that's the way that they're going to end up, winning this ALCS.
All right, before you get out of here, you mentioned Judge and Ohtani, so I assume that they would be 2 of the 5. But give me 5 players playing today that you would more or less call like surefire Hall of Famers.
Ooh, that's a good one. For me, it would be Giancarlo Stanton. I don't think we should. I don't want to put Kershaw and Verlander and Scherzer in there because they already their first ballot.
Yep.
So I'll go Judge, Ohtani, Big G. I think Mookie's a Hall of Famer, and I think Freddie Freeman will end up being in the Hall of Fame. But I think we talk about Judge and Ohtani. I think a lot of people don't talk about Stanton. Stanton's got 460 homers. Like, anytime that guy plays a season, he hits 25 homers a year.
Yep.
So he's going to end up with 500-something homers. So he'll end up in Cooperstown, which I think it'll be great. And I would love to see Freddie Freeman, get 3,000 hits. And, it's just been such a, great, player for the game and, just a model student, citizen. So I would love for him to be able to get in the Hall of Fame, too.